So I'm here with the very beautiful Robin Sidney right now. Don't you laugh, you know you are. And Robin's been working in some of these really great flicks that we've been talking about today. And you were recently in what movie?
Well, I've done a whole bunch of movies. I think I've done 4 of Charlie's movies actually, but I've done Masters of Horror, I've done The Lost, and I did Gingerbread Man, which we'll talk about in a second. I've done a whole bunch, and I've done like Nickelodeon stuff with like Drake and Josh. I just finished their Christmas movie, and just a whole bunch of stuff. It's such a fun industry, and there's so many different elements to it. There's scary, and there's kids, and there's action, and I don't know. I think all different sides of it is just really fun.
So how is it working with Charles?
Oh, he is seriously one of the most amazing directors ever. I've worked with a lot of different people who are also very, very talented, but Charlie brings this kind of very relaxed vibe to the set.
Made many horror films and many films that have gone to franchise because people like them, like Puppet Master and Ghoulies and Subspecies and Trancers. And of course, these films all have props and characters and maniacal puppets and dolls and ginger dead men. And
so that it makes everybody, being an actress, it's all about being in the moment and being real and things like that. And Charlie makes it very comfortable, and like everybody becomes friends. I'm seriously friends with like pretty much everybody that I've worked with on set, and he's just really, really, really talented. I can't believe he's made like so many movies. It's amazing.
Well, it sounds like you're on your way as well.
Oh.
Now, tell me a little bit about working with Gary Busey.
Okay, well, first of all, Gary Busey is very, very, very talented, and during the scenes, I was supposed to be afraid of him, and I'm really glad that I was afraid of him. Okay. Because he really freaked me out, and I didn't have to act like most of the time that I was with him. And I only actually worked with him for one day because the rest of the movie he's a puppet, and later on, and I'm sure like Charlie, someday you'll hear his story about when he was in the recording studio with Mr. Gary Busey doing that kind of side of the stuff. But I worked with him for one day, and he was so scary. So every time I see him, I like run away, I hide. So we were filming, and at the very beginning of the day, we did his side of the camera, and then after that, we would do the other side. So just in case he would, get scary, then we can
Be
leave.
Gary?
Yeah, exactly, be Gary. Yes. So we were at lunch, and he's like, "Oh, I really want you to come into my trailer." And I was like, okay. So I like walked past, and then I came back, and I was with my mom, who had come to the set that day because so my mom was with me, and Gary's like, "I want you to come up in my trailer." And literally, Gary was pulling me one way, and my mom was pulling me the other way, and I was going back and forth. And he's like, "What, are you scared of me?" And I was like, no. My mom wants to come up in your trailer. And he's like, "I'm going to report you to the director and the producer." I was like, okay. So anyway, Charlie comes back, and literally, like, we're walking up the stairs into his trailer, and Gary pushes Charlie down the stairs and shuts his trailer, and now I'm inside his trailer, like, and I'm like behind the little table, like freaked out, like, okay, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna talk about? I'm like been told don't go in his trailer. So he's like, I want to do some acting exercises with you. And I was like, okay. He's like, because we really need a bond to connect, and do you want me to be there? I was like, sure. So he's like, okay. So he's like goes in the back, and he goes up and down. He's like, he's like making these noises, and I was busting up laughing. Literally, when you're laughing so hard, but you don't want anybody to know, so you start crying. So these tears are like pouring down my face, and outside, like I'm sure the trailer's like shaking back and forth, and they're all hearing this like, like totally probably thinking, you know what? And I guess apparently my mom was freaking out, like, get in there, get in there. And so Charlie knocks on the door, and he's like, okay, we're ready for set. We weren't ready for set. He just wanted me to get out of there. They open up the door. Gary's like sweating, and I'm like crying from laughing, but it looks really bad. So there's just so many amazing stories, and I've been able to work with so many awesome people, but Gary is definitely one of the most memorable.
Yeah. So what are you working on right now?
Well, I just finished this Drake and Josh movie a couple of weeks ago, which is going to be great. And right now I just have a lot of movies that have come to me, and I'm just trying to figure out if I'm going to do them or not. So I'm not currently at the exact moment working on anything.
That's a nice place to be, though. Here in
Exactly.
Hollywood, you know how many actresses, are just trying to get any job. And you're
Yeah.
now at a point where you're reading scripts, you're taking on roles, and you're actually deciding if you want to do them or not.
Exactly. It's so much fun. And then also my mom and I have a business, and it's called Zorbits. And so we manufacture, distribute gift items around the world. And so that's another fun thing that I do.
Do you have a website for that?
Oh, we do. It's Zorbits, ZORBITZ.net.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. You've
Thank
got
you.
so much going on. It
Cool.
was really nice
It
to
was
meet
a
you.
pleasure
Thank you
meeting
so
you,
much.
too.
I'm
Thank you so
Lauren,
much.
and you are watching Real TV Films.
Electrify.
Electrify.
I'm electrified.
Electrify.
I'm electrified.
Electrify.
I'm electrified.